UEFA Champions League Quarter-Finals delivered. Entertainment. Goals, red cards, upsets, controversies, it had it all. It was a spectacle to watch, I imagine, for the neutrals. Personally, as an Arsenal fan, I am incensed and I will never recover from this pain. I might be a bit dramatic, but I'll recover, maybe. But we do have our 4 semi-finalists. It's all set, and the point of today's video is to talk about how we got where we are, going through the fixtures of the UEFA Champions League 2023-24 quarter-finals. And we start with Borussia Dortmund versus Atletico Madrid, 4-2 on the night, 5-4 on aggregate. Firstly, I want to say my apologies. Dortmund, if you're watching, probably not. But if you are, I'm sorry. I was dead wrong. I predicted Atletico to win, and that's okay, nothing wrong with that. But I also predicted for it to be a clean slate. I was thinking just a Atletico win, no trouble whatsoever. I was dead wrong. Goals from Sabitzer, Fulkrug, Matson and Brandt on the night, and goals from Correa and Hummel's own goal for Atletico. Atletico, I feel, watching them in the first leg were very wasteful. And when that happens, you always wonder if that will bite them in the back, particularly in these ties. And that on top of that pivotal goal from Sebastian Haller, I always felt icky about that, and I did worry for them coming into Dortmund. I feel like if they come here with a 2-0 win, I think they come through. But that goal was the start of the end for Atletico. You come into Dortmund and Dortmund were just as clinical as you can be. You have a 1.48 XG and you deliver 4 goals. That is the definition of clinical. That is efficiency at its finest. Every time they went forward, they looked extremely threatening. And they shut me up. They were fantastic winners, and they really are an exciting team to watch. Credit to the lads, credit to the coach. I really do feel like they have a fighter's chance here. I really do. On Atletico, they feel stuck, don't they? It feels like they've always been the same team. And look, it's tough on them. They don't have the money to compete with the likes of Real Madrid and Barca and the other big dogs in Champions League. It feels like they're always trying to claw their way up there with the little resources that they have. And what's been keeping them afloat is mainly Simeone. For me, he has been fantastic, and there have been rumors of people thinking that he's an overrated coach and that maybe Atletico should move on from him because he can't take them any further. That for me is foolish. This is a team that were inches away from winning the Champions League multiple times. They can do it. They just need a resurgence, I feel, in the squad. Seeing how Real Madrid have been improving again and again with their moves in the market, and Barcelona following soon, I'd imagine, I do worry for them in the future. They seem stuck and it may get worse. Moving on to Barcelona versus PSG. My goodness, what a match. There is a lot to say about this. And I want to start by going back to the first leg and the first 30 minutes of this match. During that time, I'm thinking to myself a few things. Number one, Barcelona have a better group of players. They have the better talent, the better squad. Barcelona, for me, are a better coached team. Luis Enrique deserves to be called a better coach than Xavi. Yes, I agree, but Xavi has spent more time with this side, more time to implement his style, more time to implement his game plan, and it looked it. They looked like the better coach side. They also looked more up for it. They looked more in sync. That's what I saw in the first match in Paris and during the first 30 minutes of this match. But then they imploded. Off topic here, just a little education for you all. A gift is defined as a thing given willingly to someone without payment. That is the Google definition of a gift. It can also be defined by what happened on Tuesday. Barcelona shot themselves in the foot time and time again. We begin with the red card from Araujo. Araujo, my guy, you are one of the best centre-backs in world football. I truly believe that. You're young as well. But you need to know, you need to be mature to understand Barcola has gotten the best of you. He's gone past you. You have to let him go. 30 minutes in, you have to let him go. Even if he scores, who cares? You're still in a much better position with it being 1-1 and you on the pitch. But no, you were immature, you were arrogant, you brought him down, you got a deserved red, and you put your team in a hole. Because it's not just being down to 10 men, it's losing your best centre-back. Even though they had 10 men, I felt like Barca could have done much better with their defensive duties in that match. They were still far too open at the back. I understand 10 men, yes, but they brought on a defender for Yamal. It was the issue of losing Araujo, the rock at the back, the leader at the back, that just kind of made them crumble. On top of being one man shy, the red card was a boneheaded mistake, and the penalty, look, Cancelo is not known for his defensive abilities, I get that, but that was just idiotic. What is he doing there? Dembele is going away from the goal. There's no threat. Just keep pushing him up. But you go down. You slide tackle him and it is a penalty. What is he thinking? It's crazy to me to think that during these 180 minutes, they kept Mbappe quiet. Yes, he scored 2 goals, but they were 2 on a silver platter gifts. In general, he played bad, Mbappe, and that was because of the influence of the Barca defense. But they still lost 4-1. They still lost 6-4 on aggregate. If you had told me before the match that they'd keep Mbappe quiet but lose 6-4, damn, I would have not have seen that coming. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. You guys might think it's harsh. Look, yes, PSG deserve credit for taking the opportunity. They went down to 10 men and they saw what was present and they were assertive, they were dominant. Barcola, I think, was great. Dembele was fantastic through both matches. It was a bit wasteful, but ultimately I think he had a fantastic game against his former team, which kind of makes me laugh for some reason. I think Vitinha was also a good, great goal from him. But yeah, look, ultimately they took the opportunity. Credit to them. But if you want me to say, wow, PSG are elite, no, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say that. What I am gonna say is that Barca, for me, are the better team and shot themselves in the foot again and again and again. And it wasn't like influence from PSG's play. That penalty wasn't like, oh, Dembele was great. No, that's just idiot. And that red card, nice on Barcola, but you'd have to think most defenders would have just let him go. And I personally feel with the way Barca imploded time and time again, not only would have PSG defeated them that match, most teams in Europe's top 5 leagues would have defeated a team that implodes that much. I honestly felt like secondhand frustration. I really feel strongly that they had this game in the bag and they just threw it away. But look, maybe I'm being harsh. Let me know what you think. Moving on. Now on to a big one. Manchester City versus Real Madrid. Manchester City, for me, are convincingly, even after this tie, the best team in the world. And by quite some distance. But Real Madrid just have this tendency. It's kind of been installed into their culture ever since like 2013, where they just find a way. And they found a way. There's a lot of talking points in this, but mainly through their defense. Defensively, they were absolutely sublime. They were as good as Arsenal's performance at the Etihad, but credit to them because they also found a better balance between their attack and their defense. They were as good defensively as Arsenal, but better offensively. That's huge credit to them. City, look, yes, unlucky, 2.73 XG, 33 shots. They knocked on the door again and again and again. But it's Real's defense, it's their tenacity, it's the culture surrounding this club that gets them through once again. A thing that you just cannot buy. There seems to be this secret power when that Real Madrid shirt goes on and the Champions League lights come on. I want to point out also the performance of Jude Bellingham and Erling Haaland. Let's start with Jude Bellingham. Now, Thierry Henry showcased a piece on this during his analysis of the match. In short, in summary, essentially, he says that Bellingham was a fantastic outlet. His hold-up play was sublime, slotting into that number 9 role, being a great anchor for the team, holding up play, never losing the ball, and also providing an outlet offensively, good passing out onto the wings. He was a threat all night. And I want to talk about that in contrast to Erling Haaland's performance. You see, what Bellingham did that night is what we've been asking Haaland to do for quite some time now. This is another game in which Haaland has no goals, and with no goals, he looks non-existent. What Bellingham did with his hold-up play, with his kind of anchor role, wasting time, allowing the clock to go down by not losing the ball, keeping hold, backing off the pressure from City, it's what you want Haaland to do. If he's not scoring, you want that. And it seems he's just not capable, at least right now. He's still very young. People forget that because of how good he is. I feel he needs to work on that now. That needs, what Bellingham did, let that be a lesson to him. That needs to be in his game. If not, listen, there's a formula that's been presented time and time again this season of how to stop Erling Haaland. Arsenal did it, Real did it, a few others have done it as well. In the big games, when you play against elite centre-backs like a Rudiger, like a Saliba, you can be stopped. And if that's the case, you need to find a different way to affect the game here, Haaland. And if he doesn't, if you want to talk about the best goal scorer, go ahead, but don't even think about mentioning best player. Don't use that word, player. Goal scorer, go ahead. Striker, go ahead. Don't you dare think about player until he adds that to his game. And a final word, no treble. Hallelujah. But in all honesty, it's not really good for Arsenal because now they're definitely going to win the league. More so than before. But yeah, speaking of Arsenal versus Bayern Munich is where we go next. I've been dreading this. Arsenal are my team. If you're new here, this is the team I support, have my whole life. And let's talk about what happened. Firstly, Bayern Munich's performance. Very mature, very calm, cool, collected, 3 C's, and their experience showed. They deserve a lot of credit. For me, the highlights are Kimmich, Guerrero, Mazraoui, but mainly Kimmich. I mean, he kind of flirts between the DM role and playing out on the right throughout his entire career. But I've got to say, he is at his best on the right. He's a great DM, don't get me wrong, one of the best in the world, but he is maybe the best fullback in the world. If he just sticks to that position, he is a splendid footballer, just amazing. And credit to Tuchel, strong game plan, an effective game plan against this team. They were focused, they frustrated us, and it worked through the first tie to the second. It was a fantastic performance, home and away from Bayern Munich. Very mature, very patient. Arsenal. Look, I'm gonna say something and it's harsh, it's on my team, but it's just the truth. People are saying, oh my god, okay, Bayern Munich have been so bad this season, Arsenal have been so good, surely they must win. How did they lose? This is how they lost. Okay, so let's say the majority of the season Arsenal have been here. This is their level for the majority of their season, and Bayern Munich have been way down here. Alright, I think that's fair. For the majority of the season, they've both been here. Arsenal great, Bayern Munich not so great. But then what happens? The Champions League is about rising to the moment. It's what Messi does. It's what Ronaldo does. It's what a more relevant example is. It's what Real Madrid do. It's what Bayern Munich do. It's what Barca used to do. You rise to the moment or you fall. And whilst both the levels have been here for the majority of the season, Arsenal shrank. Bayern Munich rose. Arsenal's problem. Arteta has been fantastic with Arsenal, but there is still an issue that's been present since, I'd say, since we bottled top 4 against Spurs 2 seasons ago. Mentally, we have a struggle when the stakes are at the highest. So like I said, we shrank. Whilst Bayern Munich rose, their experience, there's Champions League winners in that team. They've been here time and time again. And as bad as they've been all season, they understood the task at hand. They understood what's at stake, and it made them better, whilst it made Arsenal worse. Simply put, Bayern Munich are a very strong team mentally, Arsenal weak. When you look at the qualities of both teams and how they play, I do still think Arsenal are a better team. It's just that the mental game is where they lose convincingly, and it's why they lost. It's why they bottled the title last season and they bottled top 4 the season before. It honestly pains me to say that, but it's the truth. And in terms of the individual performances for Arsenal, to point out, Saka was absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. I don't think he did 2-3 things right that whole game. Every time he was on the pitch, it was just a misplaced pass, a misplaced touch, just all the wrong decision in general. Gabriel looked extremely shaky, which kind of fits of the mistakes he made in the first leg, giving those 2 goals away. Even with that mental gap, we had a chance, but the chance was lost in the home match. Those 2 goals we gave away, we made 2 defensive mistakes the entire match, and we conceded 2 goals. We lost this match at the Emirates. It was just a matter of time at the Allianz. So just to reiterate, Arteta has done many great things with this club, but he's still yet to fix the mental struggle. And until we do, we will never take that step into the elite of the elite. It's harsh, but it's true. So with all of that, we do once again have the semi-finals all set and ready to go. Quick note, I got all 4 of my predictions wrong. Look, okay, you can't really blame me much for these ones. I always said that Bayern Arsenal would be close. And Madrid City, I think I said it was close. But the Barca one, you can't blame me on that. Come on. The Dortmund one, yes, okay, I was a fool. My apologies. But yeah, we have our semis, it's all set. My predictions won't be set right now. It's for another time in the future. But for now, I'm excited to see how this unfolds. And I hope Dortmund go ahead and win it. I do like an underdog story. But we'll see. I'm going to end the video right there. Comment down below your thoughts, particularly on Arsenal and the mental struggle. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Comment your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Greatly helps out the channel. And if you want, on your screen right now, there is a link to subscribe to the channel to keep up, and also links to other videos on the channel. Have a great day. I am the football enthusiast. Take care of yourselves.